Murder in the morning from the Hidden Killers podcast.
You too can experience the luxury of Return to Nature Funeral Home. Return to Nature Funeral Home, now under new management. Forget about the 200 bodies that were left in the building. Now, come on in. Enjoy some Senka and a new place for your dead loved one's body. We have more room than ever before, and we're here and ready to help you return to nature.
That's pretty good there, Tony.
You like that? Yeah.
I do.
The Return to Nature Funeral Home, we've talked about this several times now because it's so screwed up. The two Colorado funeral home owners are facing trial now after allegedly abandoning nearly 200 bodies. They were responsible for the cremation or burying of, well, they didn't do that. They decided to store the remains in a neglected building for extended periods. This used to be like the funeral home people go to, but it ended up becoming body storage, basically. Judge William Moller ruled that Carie Hallford, co-owner of the Return to Nature Funeral Home, can face trial on 260 counts, including corpse abuse, money laundering, forgery, and theft. The investigation.
So we're at 260 now?
260. I don't, because I'm guessing you can have like double charges on some of these bodies that were found. So,
boy, the numbers just keep climbing here.
And it should. I hope to God these people get some real strict and harsh punishments for what they did. There's not a lot of strict laws in Colorado on this. That's where it gets tricky. The investigation of the funeral home's practices began in early October following reports of a foul odor emanating from the building. The Hallfords were subsequently arrested in Oklahoma around a month later. So they left the funeral home and the 200-some bodies and said, we're going to go be an Okie from Muskogee. Jon Hallford, also a co-owner, was initially scheduled for a preliminary hearing on January 4th. However, his defense counsel requested a continuance, citing the need to review over 7,000 pages of documents. His preliminary hearing has been rescheduled to February 8th. Additionally, his bond was reduced from $2 million cash-only bond to a $100,000 cash property or surety bond. So is it like that? Are they saying like there's $100,000 value on the property, and is that what's being put up in this case?
Well, and don't they usually require just 10%? So it would be $10,000 bond?
I'm guessing so. Judge Moller, at the request of Carie Hallford's attorney, has significantly reduced her bond from $2 million to $100,000, potentially allowing her release from jail while the trial was pending. He noted that the crimes attributed to the Hallfords were not violent in nature, and Carie Hallford had no prior criminal record. I don't. It doesn't need to be violent. This just shows such a depravity in one's mind that they're able to do this. I mean, if you're able to do this, I'm going to think you're probably capable of murder or pretty much anything. If this has become like a norm for you and you were able to go in and out of that building with 200 bodies stacked on Kmart shelves that you repurposed.
And just rotting bodies, and you have no regard for who they were or what they meant to those families. To me, that's depravity. So why are we going, they're not a threat to society? These people are already dead.
They are a threat to society because these people found this to be an appropriate way of handling the remains of the deceased. That just says so much about the people that, I'm sorry, you're too damaged to continue. The judge remarked the behavior of the Hallfords was designed to prevent the discovery of the bodies. Leading up to the discovery in October, the Hallfords faced financial difficulties, missed tax payments, eviction from their properties, and legal action for unpaid bills from a crematory that has ceased doing business with them. The prosecutors have not detailed the motive for the Hallfords' actions. FBI agent Andrew Cohen testified about the horrific conditions at the Penrose, Colorado building where decomposing bodies were found. The bodies were stored at room temperature, stacked on top of each other, and infested with flies and maggots. I can't imagine even walking into that building without just immediately throwing up. I mean, our bodies have natural reactions built into them, basically. And a rotting body is one of those where you just naturally will want to throw up, and you'll want to, because your body is recognizing this is some sort of a toxic fume that's around me. I must get this out of me because this isn't safe to breathe. God only knows what that was like in there. Text messages between the Hallfords revealed growing financial pressures and fear of being caught for mishandling the bodies. Jon Hallford even suggested disposing of the bodies by burying them with other deceased individuals or treating them with lye or fire, according to the presented texts. Well, fire would be nice. That was the original intent, I believe, of cremating them. Judge Moller observed that the evidence pointed to a pattern of ongoing behavior aimed at evading detection. Hallford's also allegedly provided concrete mix to families instead of ashes. Carie Hallford's lawyer, Michael Straczynski, argued that apart from the surveillance video from a September 9th showing Jon Hallford moved some bodies, there was no evidence of intentional mistreatment of the remains, suggesting passive neglect.
Well, okay.
It's an all intentional.
For a second. Forgive me. It's not like they were fucking the bodies, but they certainly were intentionally mistreating them by not doing what their families requested.
Exactly.
Passive neglect.
Well, that's his lawyer. It's his lawyer doing what his lawyer does. You know, they're trying to defend and try to find, well, you know, maybe it doesn't quite qualify as this, but it's more like that. And that makes it all A-okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the job. You're going to try and, at the end of the day here, I really do wonder what the sentencing will be. I'm going to guess it's going to be really light. Even though it should be one of those where it's like, you're gone for the rest of your life. My guess is it's going to be like a 5 to 10 year sentence with probation, probably 80% served.
Yuck.
That's my guess. What are you going to wager on here? What are you going to guess it's going to be when we find that one out?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with you because the problem here with the state is that they really don't have any regulations. Now, going forward, they may say, well, because of this case, we obviously need to have something in place to protect people from people like this. Mm-hmm. And then if we have another case, then I would be willing to bet we're talking some serious jail time. But they may just go, what they did was wrong, but we really don't have any laws against it. So
exactly. It's going to be a precedent one going forward, I guess. And it's weird that you have to set a precedent on this of like, hey, here's the real consequences if you decide to stack bodies up against the wall.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.